What's up, Internet? Today we're talking about the 2022 YZ250 two-stroke. Man, there's a ton of videos out on the internet. Everybody's talking about this bike. A lot of people, or at least some people, are saying all new. This is anything but all new. However, that said, this is the biggest update to the YZ250 two-stroke in 15 years. So let's get into it. All right, seems to me perfect place to start is the manufacturer's website, YamahaMotorsports.com. Let's just get the info straight from the horse's mouth, the people that actually make the motorcycle. All right, before we dive into the website, a little bit about me. I own a 2011 YZ250. I bought it new in 2011. I've been riding and racing this bike hundreds and hundreds of hours, dozens of mostly local races, some state races. I'm a fanboy. I love this bike. I love the fact that Yamaha has kept it in production for so long. That kicks ass. I wish some of the other manufacturers would have done something similar to what Yamaha has done with their two-strokes, but fortunately it's just Yamaha. Now when I say just Yamaha, I realize KTM has a pretty awesome 252 stroke, and they've since acquired Husqvarna and now Gas, and so now you can get that 250 two-stroke in 3 different colors, basically. I know there's some differences between the Husqvarna and the KTM, but let's be real, for the most part, at the core, just like with the YZ250, same frame, same engine. I think the Husqvarna's got some slightly different designs on their plastics, and I think it runs a different carburetor, but you know, so maybe it's got a little bit different engine characteristic, but it's the same bike. It's the same bike. So I was really referencing when I said only Yamaha. Of the Japanese manufacturers, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Honda, only Yamaha has kept their two-strokes alive for the last 15 years, and I applaud them for that. That's awesome, because again, I'm a YZ250 two-stroke fanboy. Absolutely, 100%. All right, man, let's take a look at this website. Two strokes, first place. I don't know, that feels kind of corny, but here we go. Yamaha says updated for 22, not redesigned, not revolutionary, just updated, and that's fair. That's what it is. It's updated for 2022, and again, I'm just thankful that they're doing anything with the bike and keeping it around. So that's freaking awesome. Not sure how I feel about this price. I think that's up like $500 more. They're kind of pushing the edge of the envelope in terms of pricing for the bike, because again, oh god, that thing is just damn gorgeous. Again, you know, there's no R&D department doing much of anything with this bike. Now, look at the lack of a seat bolt on the top of your number plate side panel on both sides. It's pretty slick how they did that, and I think that part, that one update is unique to the YZ250. I looked at their 4-strokes. I even went and looked at KTM's 2-stroke. None of them, this isn't like something that, from what I can tell, that they borrowed from one of their own bikes or another manufacturer's bike. This is something that came up with just for the YZ, and that's pretty cool. I think everything else, all these other updates, which we'll jump into here in a second, suspension, brakes, I think they just took parts off of the 4-strokes and threw them on this bike. But let's go take a look at what actually is new. I love the fact that they've actually got a new for 2022 section. So you can just, boom, here it is. Improved rider ergonomics. A new flatter seat, more narrow fuel tank design, along with smoothly integrated body panels and slimmer shroud. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when you get on this bike, if you jumped on a 2021 and then jumped on this bike, it should feel slimmer between your legs. You should feel like it's easier to move forward and backward. Like, I mean, you have to go back pretty far, but bikes used to kind of sit into them, and you couldn't, you know, it was harder to kind of move forward and backwards. And it sounds like they've kind of flattened it out a little bit more than what it used to be, and everything's just slimmer and more narrow, so that's kind of cool. New brake system. Updated lightweight braking system features larger front pistons, more rigid caliper, redesigned 270 millimeter front rotor with a 30% increase in pad contact area. Now I've seen a couple of videos on the 22 YZ250 and people are touting the fact that it's got a 270 millimeter. They actually made the change to the 270 millimeter rotor, I think in like 2017, 2018. So the fact that it's 270 millimeters is not new, but I guess they've kind of redesigned the rotor to get more contact area, which is cool. That means the brakes should be better. But for the longest time, I think it had a like 250. Like the first thing I noticed on my bike when I was just breaking it in was the brakes were crap. They sucked. And I came off of a bike that it was a 4-stroke 450, an RMZ, 2008 RMZ, and that bike had great brakes on it. And so that was like one of the first things I did was get a Gaffler wave rotor, 270 millimeter rotor kit, and a brake line. And man, my brakes are awesome. I'm just gonna say that. So they've redesigned the 270 millimeter, which means they probably just took it off the 450. But this is interesting. They've dropped the size 5 millimeters on the rear rotor from 245 to 240, further reducing unsprung weight. Oh yeah. Revised suspension dampening, further improving the YZ250's already renowned suspension performance. Front and rear suspension has been revised to further improve bump absorption, skipping that word, you know what it is, you can read it, and cornering ability. So that was a lot of marketing crap right there, but this next sentence I find really interesting. KYB inverted front fork now includes a leaf spring in the mid-speed valve for increased performance and comfort. Don't know what the hell a leaf spring is in a mid-speed valve, but sounds cool. At the end of the day, what you take away from this is the 2022 YZ250 two-stroke comes with the latest and greatest KYB Triple S suspension. And if you've never ridden with KYB Triple S forks, you're missing out. Everybody in the industry, all the professionals, they all swear by it being the best stock suspension money can buy. And if you remember when everybody had this big movement to air suspension, at least on production motorcycles, Yamaha never wavered from their old school KYB Triple S spring suspension. They never went air. Honda went air, Kawasaki went air, Suzuki went air, or some kind of variation of air suspension. And now Yamaha, and now Honda, I think they've gone back to springs. So kudos to Yamaha. New air intake design. Updated intake design allows for straighter, more efficient draw of air into the intake track. Yeah, I think that kind of comes back to that new design on the seat, and the air box has been changed a little bit. New modern YZ styling. Okay, so the bike looks really cool. That's what that's all about. Let's jump into Motocross Action's review video with Moseman, I think it is. Josh Moseman, I'm not sure. I like Motocross Action because they tend to be very opinionated. They tend to not hold back and do a better job of calling things as they are. And they like two-strokes. So they do good reviews and they make good videos. And this is my video, so I can do what the hell I want. So we're going to go look at that video and check it out. There's a couple of really key parts of the video I want you guys to see.
Most people carbon date this bike all the way back to 2006, 1 year later, because that's when it got the legendary Kayaba SSS forks. These forks are forks that everybody loves.
I told you, that shit is legendary, man. If you don't believe me, believe him. Fucking legendary.
Overall, bodywork, big upgrade for this bike. It was pretty much the same bodywork from 2005. I believe it was 2018 is when.
So I think it's actually 2015. It doesn't really matter, but that was the last time prior to 2022 where they got a decent update to the YZ250. They redesigned the bodywork, and now they have it again in 2022, which is awesome. So you could actually take bodywork from a 2021 and put it on any of the model years prior to that, all the way back to 2006, probably even 2005. But like you said in the beginning, carbon date this thing to 2006 because you don't want to get a 2005 and not have the Triple S legendary Kayaba suspension. Of course not. So yeah, you go all the way back to 2006 with the 2021 Bodywork.
So this bike got a lot stiffer suspension. They went up on the spring rate on the forks. They also went up on the spring rate on the shock, one spring rate front and rear. So it makes it ride a lot taller and feel a little bit better for guys that are heavier.
Well, that's good to know because I'm definitely on the heavier side these days. But not only do you have this magical leaf spring in the mid-valve thingamabob, but you've got stiffer springs. One spring rate higher than last year's model and all the other previous models, I guess. So stiffer springs and more awesomeness valving, better suspension. So check out the way that they're taking the seat off. There's a single bolt on the top that looks like it threads into the rear fender. I mean, you're not going to be able to take this 2022 Bodywork and put it on an older bike because this is all different. I mean, at a minimum, you're going to need subframe, rear fender, new seat, obviously your side panels and the shrouds because that's what you're going for anyway. Gas tank, probably the air box since it's been redesigned for a straighter intake to get more airflow. I mean, what? Ugh, that's a lot. That's a lot of shit, man. You just might as well just get the 22 YZ252 strap. Just get the bike. Just get the whole thing. Man, this is a cool bike. I'm digging these changes. Good job, Yamaha. Keep this thing alive. I think that about covers it, man. That's a big update. Certainly, easily the biggest update to the YZ252 stroke since 2006, 15 years. What do we got? Same engine and same frame, but the subframe and the aesthetics, everything's redesigned. That single bolt seat design, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. The revalved, that's 2, 3. We're on 3. Revalved suspension. Spring rates have been raised. 1 spring rate from last year. The calipers, the mounting hardware, the wave rotors, everything has been designed to be lighter and stronger and better. It's just more betterness. Yeah, that's right. I make up words. It's my video. I can do what I want. And bottom line is, I like it, man. It kind of sucks that the aesthetics are not backwards compatible, but goddamn, I mean, it is what it is. You know, at some point, shit's got to change. I really like that single bolt design. I don't know how it's going to hold up, but it looks cool. I dig it. I want one. I think we all just need to upgrade our YZs. Let's just do it. Let's just all at once. Let's go to the bike shops. Get your new 22 YZ252 stroke. All right, guys. I'm done. That's it. This video is over. Keep the rubber side down. We'll see you guys in the next one. Maybe I'll have one of these new YZ250s. I don't know. Shit. Do what I want. God damn it. Later.